In the last video, we explored our analytical dashboard project. In this video, we'll be discussing options in creating a robust time series chart that analysts so often need for exploring trends. We'll start by building a time series combo chart. We'll use sales and profit as our rows, continuous month of order for our columns, and we'll combine the axes by right-clicking on the second axis, clicking dual axis, then we'll convert our sum of sales to bars. Now we've made a pretty messy chart. It's not helped by our wide bars here, even if we shrink the size down a bit. There's still a lot going on. There could be even more if we switched it to week number. So if we need to switch our time frames, aggregation levels that is, it's almost imperative that we also switch the number of marks that we show. Now a normal filter on the date wouldn't work since it would be stuck at whatever interval we chose. So if we copied this field to filters, we picked a relative date, we could say only show the last 3 months, but then we're only showing 3 bars for monthly and we're showing 12 or 13 bars for weekly. So how can we create a field that will always show the last, say, 15 bars, no matter what time frame aggregation level we've chosen? To do this, let's implement the fields we created back in section 1. Date and time frame start date, time frame interval, and the time frame parameter. So let's go ahead and show our time frame parameter. Right-click, show parameter control. Then we use the date and time frame field as our filter. It's true. And time frame interval instead of our week of order date. Let's go ahead and remove week of order date and replace this with exact date. So now if we change the time frame, we're currently looking at last 15 months based on the today's date parameter. We can change it to weeks and we're still looking at 15 periods. Of course, we could change the 15 to any number we want within the calculated field. So let's take this one step further. What if we want to have the option to view the interval in progress as well? Let's say it's the 29th of the month and we want to see what we've done so far, but still understand that we're not comparing apples to apples with the previous months. What we can do is create a parameter called show interval in progress. And it's just going to be a string with values yes and no. Then we'll edit our date and time frame filter, calculated field. And at the end, we'll add an OR statement. So if the time frame matches the rest of the parameters, or interval in progress is set to yes, and the order date was before today, then return true. Now we can bring this out, show parameter control, and we have the option to hide or show the last bar. Personally, this is a field I use very often. As time period is coming to a close, we want to know what we've done so far. Maybe it's a service level as a percentage basis. Well, the performance we've had so far means something, so we want to be able to show that if we need to. Now we have an extremely easy way to show or hide the incomplete in-progress period. We can now start building our dashboard. Let's begin with a new dashboard. Set the size to exactly 1050 by 580. And again, this is just to make sure it fits in the window for this recording. You'll probably want to make it slightly larger depending on the types of devices your dashboard will be viewed on. So let's begin by dragging our combo chart out onto the sheet. Let's make our vertical container a little wider and add a parameter by clicking the action arrow and showing today's date. Now if we want to line up today's date and the time frame on the same line within this vertical container, we can just nest a horizontal container within it. So let's put the horizontal container right here. We'll drag time frame into it, and then today's date next to it. And now they're in the same horizontal container, which we can see here. Next, let's add 3 headers for our other sections in our vertical container. We'll drag out a text box below that. Let's call this Draw as Lines. And we'll format it a bit. We'll make it trebuchet, maybe 10, bold, and orange. And center it. I'm just going to copy this so we don't have to keep carrying over the formatting. Drag another text box out. Paste. This time we'll draw as bars. And center. And one more. That's just going to be our filters. Great. So let's add our quick filters to this. We want to filter by most of our discrete dimensions. In order to add them out here, we need to add them to our sheet. So let's go over to our sheet. We'll drag customer segment and choose use all. Order priority, use all. Product category, use all. Product container, use all. That's good for now. We'll go back to the dashboard. And to add our quick filters out here, we'll just select the sheet that the quick filters are on, click the action arrow, and go to quick filters. We can add them just by checking the box. You notice they added in the most nested container, so we'll just drag them out of there below filters. Quick filters, order priority, quick filters, product category. Let's go ahead and switch these to single value drop downs so they take up a bit less space on our dashboard. And reset these. So now we have our analytical dashboard well underway. In this video, we worked to create a robust selectable time frame. We used a parameter to define the selected time frames that our audience would need to view. Then we leveraged a calculated field to create a start date based on the parameter selection. We also implemented a show current period to display or hide any data in the current incomplete period. In the next video, we'll take the combo chart to a new level of flexibility using parameters to control the measures and aggregation.